This is Joy, the Journey of You podcast. We're your hosts, Devin,
Chris,
and Felicia.
And we're here for joy.
This podcast is your permission slip to reconnect to your inherent joy and to embrace it.
Let's fill up the cosmic joy pot together as we dive into today's episode.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Journey of You podcast. This week, we are talking about connection. As we move through our lives, and Devin, Chris, and I will share for sure about what has led us to this topic today, because it is always fortuitous and it's always in line with this, whatever we're experiencing before the episode just happens to be the very obvious theme of the episode. So with that, we'll talk about connection and how it is essential in our wholeness as human beings, in our human experience. And really through true connection, we create true connection through authenticity. And that is our true theme today. Just being connected to what is happening and allowing that presence and that present moment to garner this authentic connection amongst ourselves, amongst the people that we are in community with, everything as a whole. So come on, Chris and Devin.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really all about being real with being authentic of what's happening, because we're connecting to a real moment. I think a lot of times when people talk about connection, we assume we're talking about connection with us human beings, and we are. And it's about being connected in the present moment to whatever's happening real time, right? So when I, Devin, am present in the moment, connected to what's happening for me, I can deepen in my connection with you guys or other people, because I'm just being real with what's going on for myself first. So I'm connecting to myself first. That allows a greater and deeper inherent connection with you guys or anybody really. And so when we apply the premise of connection from a functional standpoint, it's very functional to be connected to what's happening inside of ourselves, to then be able to authentically show up and then ultimately authentically connect with other people, you know?
Absolutely. It was just so hilarious because for me, Felicia just froze in the moment.
Oh, okay. So along with that, listeners, we have had connectivity issues from a Wi-Fi and a data perspective. So if
from every angle,
we freeze in any moment in time. And it's funny because I haven't had connection issues until now. So.
Yeah, but we have. Every single one. Like me and Chris were having crazy connection issues for us to just tune into the episode. But what we did is what we always do, and what we're guiding everybody else to do is that we just leaned into the moment, and I was sharing what was coming up for me and what was happening for me, and my frustration with the lack of connection of my internet, and what my ego was making it mean, and all that crap, you know.
All that crap.
Yeah, well, because it was just real. Like, it was irritating because I was just like, I just want to record the episode with you guys. I don't know what the hell's going on. But that's a real time example of how I, in the moment, was just sharing with you guys of authentically, here's what's up for me real time as this shit's happening. And I was still choosing the end result of us having a successful recording today. But it was actually in me being just in real time sharing with you guys that we felt more connected. We were laughing and we were giggling and having a great time while experiencing crappy internet.
And
it was very, very hilarious.
Also, right, is that all of us came into the episode with some tenderness of ourselves. And when we were able to share that piece so openly and just speak to, okay, I'm feeling this tenderness because of XYZ, right? It just opened this space for us to, yes, giggle and laugh and be a little bit lighter. And also come together in that tenderness and hold that space for each other and really feel our hearts through this moment.
Totally. Right. And if we were denying that or trying to hide from that, that's where I would imagine, I mean, we didn't, so I can't even imagine what we would have done, but I just see it being on more of a superficial level, right? Like as soon as I said that, I was like more of like, I was just so appreciative that we did go ahead and just share and didn't hide. But I imagine if we did hide, or if I was denying what I was feeling in that moment, right? Like I would have absolutely been disconnected from you guys and just kind of just been going through the motions. And I think all of us can feel that. We've had those experiences with people to where someone's just sending it home. What's the phrase? Sending it home?
Phoning it in.
Phoning it in.
Yeah. I got you.
One of those things. One of those. I
Send
can't
it
even
home.
phone it in. I can't even phone it in.
You don't have a connection to phone it in.
I don't have a connection to phone it in. I don't phone it in very often. I mean, I do, right? We all have time frames when there's something that we're denying or hiding from that's happening, that we're just going through the motions because we're disconnected to ourselves. So then we're going to be disconnected to other people. I've been there, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just also think, for example, I just really, really realized that during COVID, when, all these online courses started popping up, and I realized the more perfect they were, the less I was wanting to participate. And the less
Mm,
perfect they were, the more authentic, the more honest, the more real they were, the more
mm,
able I was to show up, right? And that was the connection it created through the authenticity. If you have that facade of, all is well in this world,
hmm
and you're like, oh my God, all this shit in this world here, I'm not going to connect to that. And that's what creates that connection, what creates that switch, right? But when we feel that there are emotions and situations and experiences that shouldn't be, that we shouldn't feel, then we disconnect from that. Like we just leave, right? Emotionally. And we
Yep.
push that aside, even though there's so much power in emotions, right? There's so much energy that we can harvest and direct. And so we double lose when we pretend instead of being authentic, right? And
Yeah.
it's not about dumping our emotions on others. Like we didn't come in here and dump our emotions and our crap on each other. We just said, hey, this is what's going on in my life. And we own it, right? We feel it, we own it, we're in it, but we don't dump it like it's my
Yep.
energy.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it coming from that lens of authenticity. Like it's authentic for me to share that, like I came on the call for you guys and to share with listeners. Today is the 16th anniversary of my mother's murder. So it's authentic for me to share that, but it's not like I'm looking for Chris or Felicia to help me feel better or solve the issue. Nobody's going to solve my mom coming back. It just is, right? It just, today's a day where I'm just tender in my heart. So I just need to acknowledge that and be real with that. So that allows me to be deepened in my connection with my friends and even with you, the listener, right? Is just me being like, hey, here's me as a whole human being, what I like to call an integrated human being that has stuff. But truth be told, I didn't always show up. There are many, many years that I was totally disassociated and basically denying these feelings because it's intense, you guys. It's intense. So I can feel a part of myself today wanting to disconnect from these feelings, wanting to disconnect from probably talking about it and sharing openly, right? And so it's always displayed in my reality. Like when I was having the internet connection issues, even getting onto the call was like some part of my ego is obviously resisting this, and I'm doing better than I've done years before, because years before I would have just not planned anything today, not scheduled anything, right? And just been like, no, I'm too tender today, can't do anything. Let me hide this, basically, right? Rather than hiding it today, it's like, okay, it's here. I'm not like blasting and sharing it. It's more of like, hi, I'm Devin and I'm tender today. you know?
And we could have a
Yeah.
little sign that says I'm tender and just show up as that.
But what was interesting, it's interesting you say that, Felicia, because in many ways, like, wouldn't we like, because we kind of want people to know how we're feeling, right? Like it's almost, if I could, it's like egoically, it's like, hey, treat me kind today. But the truth is that
You don't need that.
I don't need that. And it's like, not to take away from what you said, Felicia, but what I'm doing is that when I need to share that with someone, I will. But otherwise, if I was just walking around with a billboard saying, hey, I'm tender today, that would in many ways
Invite more.
invite more.
Yes.
You would fold into that victimhood of being like, it's just a disempowering. It's a subtle disempowering thing to do. So there's levels of acceptance, I guess I would say, but I guess the way I feel compelled to bring it back to is like, what are you doing inside of yourself, right? So like, am I acknowledging and deepening in my connection with my own emotions, with my own state of being, right?
Yes.
And that's where I really want to guide our listeners into an opportunity to play with that if we
Mm.
feel ready for that. Yeah.
I just want to add one more thing
Go
because I
for it.
just had a realization, and that
Yeah.
is that I feel very many people are currently getting more sensitive to energies and to, like,
Mm.
like we feel people. Like I sense how you feel. Like, yeah, I just sense how people feel. And I feel, or I notice that many people are growing into that, right? And when you sense something, but they
Mm,
say something different, like they pretend to
Mm.
be well, even though
mm,
I viscerally feel they're not, right?
yeah.
There's a disconnection, and that creates a incoherence between, like, and that's like the cut. And then I'm lost. I'm like, okay, my body is saying one thing, but you're saying something different, and that's what creates that disconnection.
Yeah.
And then
That's
where's
such a
the
great
true
example.
authenticity? Yeah.
Yeah, because we can feel what it's called discordance or
Yes,
incongruence, right? Like when a
yes.
person is presenting who's
Mm,
like presenting one way but isn't actually just isn't actually connected to the depth of them, we get that niggle of like there's an authenticity
mhm,
here.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I would agree, Chris, that a lot more people are a lot more aware and perceptive of other people.
Mhm.
And I personally, honestly believe it's twofold, but it can come from your own disconnection. Because when we're disconnected from ourselves, we're really we're a lot more privy to the outside, looking for things, danger, all
And
sorts of confirmations, all sorts of
mm.
that. Yeah. So rather than just theorizing about it, let's experience it, eh? Okay, so
Okay.
I just
Did
want you
you
to
did you add some
imagine.
Canadian for me?
I know, right? I did. It just popped in there, eh?
Some mirror neurons for
I
connections.
know, right? We're connected. We're connected, my friend.
Even
So
without
I
light.
invite you to just imagine that you got something going on. You probably don't even need to imagine that hard because you probably got something going on in your life right now. So just acknowledge what's happening right now. Acknowledge that there is something happening. And what I want you to actually lean into is I want you to imagine that you consciously are trying to disconnect from everything that's happening in your life right now. You're really trying hard. All those emotions you're feeling, you're trying to push them away, trying to hide from them, trying to deny from them. And just notice the energy dynamics you have inside of yourself, how that feels inside of your body. Notice your actions and behaviors when you're simply just trying to disconnect from what's happening, deny what's happening, run away from what's happening, avoid, numb out. Any of your ways that you try to disconnect from what's happening. Yeah, really embed how that feels for you. And then take a deep breath in and out. Now I invite you to imagine that you accept everything that's happening. It's already happening. You simply connect to it, allow it to be, acknowledge that it is happening, and actually connect to what's coming up for you. Connecting into that inner place of power within you that has the capacity to be with and connect to what's happening. Notice how this feels. Notice where your energy and focus is here. Notice how easy it may be to discover your needs amongst what's happening. And notice your sense of empowerment in this space. To be connecting to thyself, connecting to what's happening, and just letting it be. You may notice wisdom and perspective come in and as you just let it be. And with that, I invite you to take a nice breath in and out. And then decide for yourself right now, right this very moment. Do you want to stay oriented from a disconnected space? Or do you want to give connecting a try? And as you make your choice, I invite you to come back to us. And I'd love to hear what Chris and Felicia's experience was like. We always want to hear what your guys' experience is like. So do please let us know in the comments. But let's touch base with Chris and Felicia and see what their journey was.
For me, that was actually quite, sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead, Chris. All good.
That was quite viscerally intense because I first tried to just leave, and that felt kind of nice. But then it was like my whole upper body was compressed, and it was like my pulse went up, my heart rate, my like my blood pressure, and I was like almost constricted in that tightness of not allowing myself to feel. And it was really like viscerally intense. And then when you said, and now surrender, and I was like, oh, thank you. I can breathe again. And then, you surrender to your soul leading the way, knowing the way, all is well. And you just follow. Like it's easy. You just allow yourself to be with what is. And that makes it so easy. And then I was like, wow. And look, you did not have one single glitch through this whole episode.
Nope.
So hilarious. So
I know, right?
And neither did I. So good. Felicia, what did you get?
What's lovely about that, right, is we've touched on so many past episodes, episode topics in our time, which is like, okay, we talked about emotions and surrendering, right? And it all builds on each other. And so my experience was around like, okay, I haven't been feeling great in the last couple of days. I've had headaches and I'm a little bit lightheaded. And so I was, if I was going through Devin's exercise around like, I could absolutely just disconnect and choose not to be here for the podcast and say, hey guys, I'm not feeling well. Like you guys take it on. And it's not about like denying. What I loved about your demo, Devin, is that you said, what do you sense that you need from this space? Right. And so while, yes, there are times when I will need rest, I will need restoration, and I will feel into that when I allow myself to surrender. Today, I needed connection. Today, I needed to show up, speak my truth, own my truth. And then we just giggled for so much of the time. And it wasn't like we were denying, we're like, oh, we're putting on a happy face and we're laughing instead. No, laughing out of genuine, like, well, we all feel tender today. It's okay. It's a beautiful space, guys.
Yeah.
It just really is.
Yeah. And I love that you honed in on the clarity of your needs, because that's exactly what shifts, is that when we're connected to what's happening is we get clear on okay, if that's happening, what do I need now? And that's the premise of all of the healing work I do, is there's a part of us that has a need that if we're disconnected from what's happening, we're going to not realize we have a need that's not met. And so then we're going to be trying to like dysfunctionally find a way to meet this need that we're not even aware that we have. Right. And so it's just when we aware. Yeah. And that's where it really, for me, it really feels very, very frantic and very like searchy energy. I relate it to a chicken with their head cut off, but it's just very frantic of like searching and finding. Whereas here, it's just very obvious what I need. Like right this morning when I was just connecting to, okay, so here's where I am. What do I need? And I just needed to go slower in the morning and take a longer hot shower and really be with myself and a longer meditation. And I just love that you honed in on that, because that's the difference here. There's so many differences, but
so simple, right? It's like, I just need a hug.
Yeah. Right.
I just need a hug, and I can hug myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
and
you just
sharing with you guys, it feels like a hug.
Exactly.
Like an emotional, encompassing, physiological hug.
Totally. Yeah. And I also want to speak to just what you said about the laughter and joy of it, because we weren't being fake, because we were all experiencing a lot of tech difficulties that were quite annoying, but it doesn't do any good to be annoyed. And it just it just allows us to be present to it, and it turns into joy just by us just letting it be there, just connecting to, okay, it's there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we can turn suffering, right? If we suffer through what is versus accepting, allowing, surrendering.
Yep.
Being authentic,
connecting,
and then
right? We've said it in various different ways, obviously.
Yeah, it shifts to connection and into joy.
Yep.
Shift into joy.
So your invitation here is to connect to what's happening for you. Just be real with yourself. Be real with what's happening. See what that gives you. Notice what your needs are.
Notice what your needs are.
Notice what your needs are. Yep.
One more time in the back. Notice what your needs are.
And take care of your needs.
Yes. And let us know in the comments how that goes, that you're doing this for yourself. And we look forward to hearing it. And until then,
see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.